Brain Herbert. Good morning, everyone. I, Associate Professor Sharda S. from Department of Commerce and Management, will be taking you through today's inauguration of Erudite, a multidisciplinary national conference. A brief introduction about our trust. I am proud to share Sheshadripuram Education Trust was established in the year 1930 by two noble ladies, Srimati Anandamma and Srimati Sitama. Sheshadripuram Education Trust has grown as a global conglomerate of premier education institutions, catering to over 22,000 student population with more than 1,500 staff, and provides education ranging from preschool to post-graduation, research and foreign collaborations in 9 institutions spread across Karnataka. The trust strives at ensuring affordable education and expansion of newer streams in its institutions with world-class infrastructure. Our institution, Sheshadripuram Institute of Commerce and Management, was established in the year 2005. It caters to more than 900 students with qualified professionals. The college has 3 university ranks to its credit, with a gold medal as a feather in its cap in the previous 3 academic years. SICM has successfully completed NAC Cycle 1 with B grade and is also recognized as one among the top 10 promising colleges in the year 2019 by Higher Education Review magazine. We strongly believe in academic ethics, and hence our motto is inspiring possibilities. Now, moving on to Erudite. Quote, research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what everybody else has not thought. Albert Zent. Erudite is a multidisciplinary national conference which is conducted at SICM from the year 2018. Initially, it was organized only for the Department of Commerce and Management. From the previous academic year, we have upgraded to multidisciplinary of other departments too. 2020 is a totally different year for all of us. We have witnessed the pandemic, which is unlikely to end soon. This made us think and design the theme of the conference. So we thought of gathering the faculty's experience and novel ideas to redesign course content to meet the current and future needs. This conference aims to provide an insight in the theme of operational restructuring in educational institutions with the advent of online pedagogy. Erudite, a multidisciplinary national conference, has various themes and sub-themes under Department of Commerce and Management, Kannada, English, Hindi, Sanskrit, Library Science, and Physical Education. May I now request Professor Vidya Shivannavar, Principal, SICM, to welcome and introduce the dignitaries of the day.
Thank you, Sharda. A very happy and blissful morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the inauguration of 2 days virtual multidisciplinary national conference, Erudite 2021. We all have faced a lot of challenges in our past days. Rather, I consider it as a period of transition for education institutions from traditional to online classrooms. While people say this pandemic has brought a lot of challenges, we feel we have a lot of opportunities to grow. In this context, to find out the new opportunities to the teaching fraternity who has to restructure their operations and adapt new pedagogies, the conference team of Sheshadripuram Institute of Commerce and Management thought of hosting a conference in the new norm. We have panel of experts to inaugurate and address the gathering of inauguration. First of all, I would like to introduce and welcome Dr. Udaip Krishna, Honorary General Secretary, Sheshadripuram Educational Trust. Nadoja Dr. Udaip Krishna sir is a great leader with a fine blend of an educationist, technocrat, and a social worker. He holds various prestigious positions in various organizations. He is the president of Karnataka Gandhi Smaraka Nidhi, national president of Indian Institution of Production Engineers, and member of State Disaster Management Authority, Government of Karnataka, in the rank of Ministry of State. He has also held positions in national management of highly credible service organizations like Indian Red Cross Society and Tuberculosis Association of India. The Government of India has honored him with State Award for Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, State Youth Award for Youth and Community Services, and State Rajyotsava Award for Social Service. He has been conferred with the prestigious Nadoja Award, which is equivalent to honorary degree of doctorate in literature by Kannada University, Hampi. In recognition to his dedicated service, he has been conferred with President's Gold Medal, the highest national award given for exceptional humanitarian service by the President of India. Sir, I welcome you and request you to preside over today's inaugural program. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I deem it as an honor to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. S.N. Omkar Sir, Chief Research Scientist, Indian Institute of Science. Dr. S.N. Omkar Sir is working as Chief Research Scientist at Department of Aerospace Engineering, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. He has a Bachelor in Engineering in Mechanical Engineering from Bangalore University. He has done his MSc and PhD in Aerospace Engineering from Indian Institute of Science. His research interests include satellite image processing, biomechanics, yoga, uninhabited air vehicles, and nature inspired algorithms. Dr. Omkar heads the Computational Intelligence Lab and Unmanned Aerial Vehicles Lab and Biomechanics Lab. He is also pursuing several projects and research work in the area of image processing. He has developed a number of algorithms and used them for a variety of applications like road extraction, flood assessment, crop classification, crop growth analysis, etc. The other facet of Dr. Omkar's research includes composite design optimization using nature inspired techniques. He has also pioneered in using biomechanics for aerospace applications. This is of significance in light of country's interest in human space mission. He has established a laboratory facility towards this. Sir has more than 130 journal publications, has presented papers in more than 100 conferences, which includes both national and international conferences. Till date, he has imparted training for more than 1,000 interns. He is also a member of many academic committees. He has introduced many courses at Indian Institute of Science. He has conducted several workshops and outreach programs for students. He is also a celebrated practitioner and teacher of yoga. He has been confirmed with Karnataka State Rajyotsava Award from the Government of Karnataka and Nadaprabhu Kempegowda Award from Brahat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike Bengaluru for his contributions in the field of yoga. We are indeed happy to have you as our chief guest for the conference, sir. On behalf of Sheshadripuram Educational Trust and Sheshadripuram Institute of Commerce and Management, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's a honor and proud privilege to our institution to have us Professor Kristen Halford as a keynote speaker for the conference, the Vice President of Marketing for Such Kansas City, Missouri, United States. Mrs. Holferty leads the company's strategic marketing efforts and brand strategy. Her areas of focus include ongoing innovation in marketing, planning and execution, product marketing, brand evaluation, and creative strategy. Mrs. Holferty has over 23 years of leadership, marketing, and sales experience. Over the last 6 years, she has led organizations through business transformations, redefined business models, rebranded initiatives, product launch, and executed go-to-market strategies to stay relevant in ever-changing virtual environments. Mrs. Halferty has recently been elected to the National Academy of Sports Medicine, Athletics and Fitness Association of America, and Premier Global in the United Kingdom certification governing body. It's Certification Governing Board operates independently to set policies for governance of certified personal trainer certification and Athletics and Fitness Association of America certified group fitness instructors. She is passionate about public lands and helping youth reach their full potential. She has volunteered with Scouting for over 10 years, a reading mentor with Lead to Read Casey, a certified coach with Coaching for Everyone, youth triathlon coach for Trek, and an advisor to Teens United. As a master multitasker and advocate for health and fitness, she fundraises while competing for Team RMHC, Women for Tire, Wonder Project, and National Park Foundation. Madam, I extend a warm welcome to all to you on behalf of Sheshadripuram Educational Trust and Sheshadripuram Institute of Commerce and Management. Welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I extend a warm welcome to all the Board of Trustees and office bearers of Sheshadripuram Educational Trust who have joined us today on this inauguration program. I extend a warm welcome to all the members of Sheshadripuram Educational Trust. A heartfelt welcome to all the heads of institutions from various colleges and our sister institutions. I extend a warm welcome to the organizing secretaries and the conveners of the conference Erudite 2021. I welcome the whole team of conference, teaching and non-teaching staff of Sheshadripuram Institute of Commerce and Management. A warm and inclusive welcome to all the participants, students, research scholars who have joined us today for this inaugural program. Welcome to one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of the gathering, I welcome you, ma'am. May I now request the chief guest of the day, Dr. S.N. Omkar, Chief Research Scientist, Indian Institute of Science, to give the inaugural address.
Thank you. Namaste to all the delegates and the dignitaries. On the outset, I thank the organizers of Sheshadripuram College for organizing this kind of event, and happy to inaugurate this. Well, it's very essential that in today's world, things are changing quite fast. World is actually shrinking because we are able to connect far and wide, sitting at our homes. The way we work has changed. A lot of opportunities have come up. In fact, we have learned a lot from the so-called the depressing moments of COVID. So we have come a long way out of that. So it is very essential now for us to focus, especially we have a lot of youngsters, I know. This is a college conference. So we should really look at how our youthful energy can be properly channelized so that we can become meaningful not only to ourselves, but also to our families, societies, and nation at large. Because today we have been talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat in every sector. But for this to happen, I think there is a lot need to be done. We need to focus on a lot of things in life, irrespective of whichever field you choose. You see, you can be in the field of sports, you can be in the field of commerce, it can be arts, it can be science, or you can be an artist, whatever. See, this whole idea is that you should give your best. The devotion and dedication, these are the very, very important things in life. Without that, I don't think anything will happen. No great person has ever just like that come without any effort. Take any example. I just remember Kobe Bryant. I should talk about this person. Was a American National Basketball Association. He was a star player. Unfortunately, we lost him in a helicopter accident. You know, when he was in school, he had always the dilemma. It's whether to play soccer or whether to play basketball. And in many matches, he could not score. And he thought, okay, this basketball is not for me. Uh, should I quit and maybe go to soccer? Then, those days, Michael Jordan, another star player, he read about him. In fact, Michael Jordan was dropped out from the high school basketball team. But what he did was he persisted. He did not leave the basketball. Then he rose to great height. Even today, he is a big name. So this Kobe Bryant went on to practice. He used to start at 5 a.m. and sometimes he used to practice until 7 p.m. Then he used to, whoever is the basketball enthusiast, he used to call them to play one-on-one and every day play with them to hone his skills. See, honing the skill is very, very important. Skill India does not simply happen. Whatever area you are, you have to hone your skills. Then he used to practice at least 400 shots every day. And especially on game days, he never spared anything and he was following a very strict diet, which really became a big news because that kind of regimentation is very, very important. And he went on to become 18-time All-Star, 15-time member of all NBA team, and 12-time member of all defensive team. Lot of laurels he won. He became one of the richest players of National Basketball Association. On one occasion, his right hand ring finger got fractured during the practice. So the doctor had to put a bandage for his ring finger and middle finger both together because the ring finger should not move because there was a fracture. So people thought that, okay, now things are over and he may not really play that season. And if you don't play one season, likely that you actually lose out on the others. But this person, what he did was, when this happened, he started practicing again and again. And because one of the finger is now not active, he had to change the way he baskets the ball. So he developed a new technique, and it is said that he practiced nearly about 10,000 times this particular way of throwing the ball into the basket. And then he came to play, and with that novelty in his throwing the ball, he won the match. So when some depressing moments come, see, not to just withdraw. So a lot of us do that. We think that, oh, my days are over, and because of this, and we curse a lot of things, and without putting effort, we simply withdraw from what we are supposed to do. I think this is what we should learn. We should not do that. We should stick to the practice regimentation in whichever field you are. And whatever you do, please place the values at the highest level. We should be beneficial to our country, India. That should be the most important thing. Other things will come. Don't simply go on how much I get, what will I get. See, that you will get anyway. If you do good work, you will get money, you will have your car, you will have your bungalow. Nobody says no to that. But that should not be the motivating factor. In fact, when Sir M. he was serving for Maharashtra province, And he became a very successful engineer. He was one of the more successful engineers those days for all the problems associated with water supply and irrigation, drainage. The whole country sought his help. When Hyderabad, the floods happened, they invited him. They said, we will offer you whatever you want, solve our problem. This was in 1908, the Musi River flood. Then he had resigned Maharashtra government, and then he had only consulting with Hyderabad. It was then the Nalodi Krishna Udaip the fourth. He was the king, Maharaja of Mysore province, and he recognized his talent. And in those days, Madhav Rao was the Diwan. They said that, okay, we should decide time that we should invite him to become chief engineer of Karnataka. And they offered this post to Vishwesvaraya. And Vishwesvaraya did not ask how much money are you going to give me, whether you give me car, bungalow, position of a minister. No. He said, now I am busy with Hyderabad. I have accepted this job. Till this is complete, I will not come. Further, they insisted. Maharaja wrote a letter to him through the Diwan, where he said that please come to Mysore. This is the province or the state in which you are born. We will give you this opportunity. Then Vishwesvaraya again wrote back and said, I would join provided you give me enough opportunities and challenge for my talent and abilities. This is the thing. Please remember this very well. He never said that how much are you offering? No, I am getting so much in Hyderabad, so much I got in Maharashtra. Are you giving more than that? No, he said, can you give me greater opportunities? And especially he wrote to Maharaja stating that, can you give me opportunities to work, improve the technology, the industry and education? Then Maharaja promised him that I will give you opportunity in all these areas. It is then Vishwesvaraya joined as the chief engineer of Karnataka. Why I am saying this is very important. Money will come, don't worry about that. But what kind of work you do, what is your dedication? Can you really harvest your talent to the maximum for the service of the country in whatever area? It's not to be limited to engineering, medicine. It can be anything. Even in the field of arts and commerce, plenty of opportunities are there. What can we do to the country? That should be the foremost. What kind of challenges that we get? And that's very important to identify what we can do and what is your specialty. Because these days we see youngsters, sometimes they see something, they are getting drawn towards that. Then he will say, I will become that. Then something else will happen, I will become that. So keep hopping from one aim to another aim will not take you anywhere. You should not do. You must fix on one thing, identify your potential, work towards that and stick to that. That is what is important. As you stick to it, it will happen. You see, when Swami Vivekananda was traveling in the US, he gave lecture. He was giving lectures on Indian philosophy, Vedas, the Upanishads. They were so much impressed. In fact, a university like Stanford University, where he lectured, just 1.5 hours lecture impressed the management of the university so much that the Stanford University offered him the post of director for studies on Eastern philosophies. In fact, Colorado University also offered him. But he said, I will not accept any of these jobs. My aim is spirituality, to spread the Indian knowledge of Vedanta, Upanishads all around. So I am not interested in all your positions and posts. So why this is important is you should identify what you want to become in life. And if your goals are high, if your aims are high, if it is in the right moral direction, please take it. You are bound to succeed. There is no failure at all. So this is very, very important that you should fix the proper goals and aims in life, and that ethical foundation is very, very important. It is, I think, the aim of such conferences that you're doing today is to expose you to a variety of such areas which you can focus. I'm sure a lot of delegates are there who will speak on variety of subjects which will open out your vision to uh, pick up areas that you like and follow that. That is very important. And the youth is very, very important today. Unfortunately, with all the technological advancements, instead of calling it age of technology, we should also call it as age of distraction. There are a whole lot of distractions to the youth. One can easily get swayed to some wrong habits. So please be careful what you should do, what you should not do. Your parents have pinned a lot of hopes in sending you to colleges and universities. The society has a lot of hopes on you. The nation as such has a lot of hopes on you. That's, you have a responsibility. People today, youth, they look for freedom. We don't want to be questioned. Good, but freedom should come with responsibility. Freedom with the responsibility can be dangerous. So you have to remember that. And it is you, youth, you are the hope of our country. You should remember. If you can focus, if you can rise, then yes, our country has great hope. And please note that difficulties do come. Difficulties do come to everyone. There is no second word. But that should not deter you from giving up. I'll tell you one more interesting episode, perhaps because you all love cricket. In 2006 December, there was a cricket match between Ranji Trophy match between Delhi and Karnataka in Firozshah Kotla, Delhi. Karnataka did very well. Scored 446 in first innings in Firozshah Kotla, and Delhi had to bat. They lost 5 wickets for a paltry score. Then Virat Kohli, he was batting, and he was then just 18-year-old, and they were with the wicketkeeper of Delhi team, Puneet. He was batting, and on the second day he was 40 unbeaten. Then, because he's a Delhiite, he went home after the match, and during the night, his father, Prem Kohli, took ill. He developed chest pain, and Virat Kohli had to call for help. Not much help came. 3 a.m., his father had a heart attack. By the time the ambulance came, everything was over. So this news spread to the team, and early morning, the Kohli and family sitting in front of the dead body of Prem Kohli. Very, very sorry situation. And the Delhi team was in all doldrums. They thought that, okay, Kohli will not come, so what to do? But to everybody's surprise, Kohli came to the dressing room on time with full cricketing gear, and he chose to go to the bat. And he continued to play. And please remember that in that kind of a situation, he played for 281 minutes and faced 238 balls and made a match-saving 90 runs. So after that, the Delhi was saved from a follow-on. In fact, Delhi did not lose the match, and he went home later for the funeral ceremonies of his father. So why I'm saying this is difficulties can come, but that should not put you off. So we should remember that we should, despite all the difficulties that can come, we should take care to see that to the best possible extent, we give our best to serve the whatever chosen, maybe your company, maybe your whatever organization, and finally to the country. So this is very, very important thing that we should develop. And on top of all these things, please imbibe a sense of uh, great respect to the country. That is the most important thing. We should respect our country. We should respect our lineage. This must be remembered that by reading about people like Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and other great men of our country, we really learn a lot about what we belong to. We belong to a great nation, and we must strive to uphold the respect and dignity of our country. This must be the foremost thing that we should remember. So, with these few words, I would inaugurate this workshop seminar. Please have a wonderful deliberations and develop the attitude of opening up the minds. Please question things. That's how we learn. You see, unless you open out, question, you will not really gain knowledge. I'm sure in the 2 days seminar, there are very, very eminent speakers. Please question, get to know from them so that you can set your path, what you should become, how to face things, even technically, whatever technically means in your subjects, you may have difficulties, but there are ways to overcome. That is possible only if you learn the right technique. Simply complaining maths is difficult or some subject is difficult, I cannot do, does not help. You should know how to circumvent the problem. Complaining does not help. I'll just end my talk with one very interesting episode, that an event that happens in nature. There are eagles, you must have seen. When the eagle is sitting on the tree, sometimes a crow will sit on top of the eagle and start picking it. This happens. And eagle, because it has no hands which can reach on top, it cannot do much. It cannot just get rid of the crow. What it does is it starts flying. And it starts flying higher and higher and higher. Crow cannot fly that high. Crow will go only about some 100 feet or something, above which it cannot take. Whereas an eagle can fly higher. It can go 1,000 meters high. And when the eagle flies that high, crow simply cannot manage. It will simply leave the eagle. So that's how eagle just gets rid of the crow. The lesson is that you should grow higher than the problem. If you rise higher than the problem, then the problem will leave you and you will shine. So with these few words, I thank you all. I also thank my good friend Udaip Krishna for organizing this kind of a very great seminar. I wish you all the best. God bless you all. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat. Namaste.
Thank you for such an inspiring, with a live example, sir. Thank you for such an inspiring address. Sir, definitely we will fix up the goals and work on it and make our country proud. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
May I now request Professor Christine Holparty, Vice President of Marketing for Donor Search, United States, to give the keynote address.
Thank you. Good morning. As universities navigate these uncertain times, they have an opportunity to rethink and improve the student experience through online learning. Today, I'm going to share ways to transform higher education while expanding the impact of your institute's mission. Now let's begin. Rewind back to January 26, 2020, and think about where you were and what you were doing. For me, I had just landed back in the US, and I remember looking up at the airport television and seeing people in biohazard suits helping sick patients as I moved closer to the television. I began to think to myself, and then it just eventually came out of my mouth, what is going on? I began making phone calls to family, trying to figure out what I had missed after being in the jungle for 10 days off the grid. We all remember when the COVID-19 pandemic had become a reality and led higher education into uncertain territory. University leadership and faculty helped students navigate unprecedented times by quickly establishing virtual classrooms, and I found their commitment inspiring. But it's important to recognize that online learning is capable of much more than what students experienced during 2020 and still today. With the semester looming and the timing of a coronavirus vaccine uncertain, a significant amount of learning was taking place outside the classroom for the near future. This pivot to distance learning had accelerated the evolution of higher education, and our industry must continue to band together to shape that evolution to the benefit of students. Over the last year, I have met with several higher education leaders, and they all ask the same question. Where are we headed as a result of COVID-19? It's clear that online education will be central to learning as long as COVID-19 causes disruptions. Social distancing and wearing those masks on campus promote safety, but many students and their parents will likely feel more comfortable with remote instruction. In a Wiley Education survey of universities, 16% of current on-campus students would not commit to taking classes on campus fall of 2020. The data also indicates that segments of learners are skeptical about online courses. And some institutions explore only offering remote classes. Estimates show that enrollments at many regional universities in the US are lagging, but not as much as the original 20% of losses predicted in April of 2020. Given the mixed results of virtual instruction at the high school level, it's understandable that first-year college students may wonder about the value of remote learning and decide to take that gap year. That said, the virtual courses that schools pieced together to survive the pandemic have little in common with online programs that learning designers craft based on best practices. As such, universities that have switched to a fully remote model this school year needed to elevate their virtual courses or risk diminished student satisfaction. Many universities are working to provide students with campus experiences for at least a portion of their studies. Hybrid or blended programs will let students engage in a mix of in-person and online learning. These programs will work best if students can toggle between formats when infection rates spike and we all have to go back to home base. This approach requires universities to develop online components that foster high-quality learning experiences like we have in the workplace. Therefore, it's crucial to plan for how online elements will function if campuses must close again abruptly. The next question that I get asked most commonly is, how do we place quality above modality? We all need to keep looking forward to identifying additional ways to improve outcomes as universities adopt hybrid models this school year. Students and faculty will likely find that online instruction can accentuate what they can achieve on campus. I envision a future where we retire the idea of online versus classroom learning, replacing these dueling models with a unified format that prioritizes quantity and quality. My experience as a student bolsters this vision. As I worked through my bachelor's and master's degree programs during the 1990s, and I know that was a long time ago, most of my development occurred outside the classroom. I cultivated my knowledge as I reflected on lectures, studied at home, collaborated in groups, and worked in internships. In the next iteration of higher education, the time spent with professors, be it on campus or through a device, would continue providing the cognitive nourishment for knowledge to blossom. However, the format of those interactions would be secondary. The critical point is for universities to provide high-impact learning experiences across many modalities. While there are endless ways to achieve this objective, an institution may struggle if online or hybrid learning isn't their strong suit. And we've seen that here in the US. That's where education partners enter the picture. What does a successful partnership look like? With the right education partner, universities can do more than keep pace with trends. They get the support to evolve in ways that advance their mission. Education partners fill resource gaps as once reliable funding sources wane. And to that uncertainty caused by the coronavirus, having industry partners are essential for many universities. What do we need to look for in a partner? You'll want to choose a partner who is uniquely positioned to support a rapid transition to online or hybrid learning. They have experience managing extensive portfolios of online programs at the graduate and undergraduate level. They have developed best practices and expertise for building courses on an accelerated schedule. And most importantly, their support scales with your university needs and can help launch a single program or take an enterprise approach to bringing complete academic portfolios online. I would recommend finding a partner who follows an enterprise approach to online courses. Their foresight to build multi-dimensional online courses enables them to offer reliable degree pathways to working professionals and recent high school graduates. If disruption occurs, and we can expect it to, these universities have the agility to pivot to distance learning formats that maintain high engagement and achieve superior outcomes. Universities must do more than offer high-quality online courses. They must educate students about how impactful this format can be. This work is essentially vital in an environment where 33% of first-year students may hit pause instead of joining an online college program. Backed by an education partner's enrollment team, universities can share data-driven stories with first-year students, helping me see what makes thoughtfully constructed online programs so empowering. Students may feel like they're living through a defining moment, but it doesn't have to define what they achieve in life. By working together, universities and education partners can reshape academic programs to increase their long-term impact and reach, and create new possibilities in higher education. As many of us were glad on December 31st to say goodbye to 2020 and hello 2021, one thing has stayed consistent. The COVID-19 pandemic has altered higher education indefinitely, and university leaders have had to adapt to a changing landscape with no guidebook. While it has been challenging, it has also allowed universities to rethink how they support learners and find new ways schools can use different learning methods to support students and faculty. When the COVID-19 pandemic prompted US colleges and universities to close campuses in March 2020, higher learning institutions sought short-term distant learning solutions to brace for the immediate impact. Most schools were already able to deliver some level of online learning, but only in a small scale. Perhaps a few fully online programs or online course options, but they were not prepared to immediately scale these online offerings to support their entire course catalog. In addition to that, their faculty and students had little to no experience with online courses and hadn't made the choice to teach or learn virtually. It's clear from the many surveys done in the wake of this period that while there were successes, emergency distant learning also resulted in a lot of disappointment. Now it's clear that university leaders need a virtual structure that can be delivered effectively and consistently. As they adapt to new needs and concerns, including the understanding that lives can change in an instant. When changes do occur, higher educational pursuits shouldn't have to end or suffer. It's my hope that as we look ahead to the post-pandemic period, leaders and faculty will take advantage of the opportunity to rethink the learning experience they deliver long-term. Traditional courses shouldn't go back to business as usual when we're on the other side of this period. We now have the opportunity to thoughtfully combine the advantages of face-to-face and online learning into new delivery models. While online education is new to many right now, we've gone through decades of development and experimentation in online learning, and we know quite a bit about what works. When it comes to the course experience, many factors are important to support success, including technology affordances, student readiness, and teaching techniques specific to online learning. Though a focus on technology is undoubtedly important, when planning online education, it strikes me that most meaningful questions aren't about the modality at all. Instead, they're about whether curriculum is developed and delivered in a student-centered way. Is curriculum aligned with the skills students need to be successful? Are students supported with authentic application and feedback opportunities? Are they able to connect productively with peers and faculty? These concerns transcend modality and provide good guidance to improve overall quality and support better outcomes for faculty and students. We can then address them by embracing proven approaches yet to be widely adopted, including curriculum and employment alignment. All students need skills relevant to the world of work they are preparing to enter, and it's well known that employers feel these are lacking in graduates. In 2019, 64% of surveyed human resource leaders said they believe their organization has a skill gap, and 44% said it is harder to fill open positions to close those skill gaps. That's up from 35% in 2018. Whoa. Consider how much larger this problem will become as the labor market rapidly transitions away from today's jobs to ones that don't even yet exist. Universities should improve collaboration with employers now and align curriculum and course designs to in-demand job skills of today and the future. Through closer collaboration, they can also facilitate quality educational opportunities in the field, including internships and short project opportunities. These high-impact experiences can be easier to achieve in a more virtual world, and while students find it highly desirable, it is often hard to find. Content delivery. This is not a new opinion, but it's worth saying that while content delivery in a live setting can be compelling, lecture is not usually the best use of synchronous time, whether the class is in person, online, or blended. Most presentations should be converted to online delivery via interactives, text or video, and self-assessments, even leveraging adaptive components if available. This frees up in-person or video conferencing time for case method learning, application of concepts to personal experiences, group work, or discussion and synthesis activities. Many faculty who have made the transition have found it to breathe new life into their courses. Application activities in online and blended courses can leverage new possibilities with students in the field generating artifacts, including video, audio, images, and more, to support their learning and enrich class discussion. The integration of field experience with the concepts and discourse of the class has massive resonance and can be done at a much broader scale. Online instructors generally rave about the impact of this in comparison to traditional place-based courses. And then there's mentorship. Mentorship should be incorporated more formally into classes and programs, with more intentionality concerning how an instructor engages with groups and individuals. We can ensure the right amount of true relationship building happens. The mentorship aspect of the university experience has too often been left up to the student to navigate, especially at the undergrad level, and many never find or harness this opportunity. This can be especially effective with non-traditional and at-risk populations, and as a way to proactively address obstacles any student can face that may or may not be academic. These deeply engaging features can be implemented in blended and online courses to drive meaning and impact for students in exciting ways. Now is a moment when we can work together to reconsider the future of education with students' needs and outcomes top of mind. Of course, professors and administrators are always considering how to best connect with and inspire students inside and outside of the classroom. But recent disruption has resulted in new level of urgency and openness to innovation as the benefits of online and blended learning will continue to exist long after a coronavirus vaccine is distributed. Innovation in learning delivery can differentiate programs in the highly competitive higher education market. While the draw of the campus will persist as a community, we need to design how these two modalities will work together in the future, respectful of, but less tethered to tradition. Just as the delivery of fully online education evolved from ebooks and PowerPoints with exams to the wide range of more refined options available today, traditional learning will evolve toward a more efficient, rewarding, and effective intertwining of digital and in-person asynchronous and live practices. One key to the next era in higher education is getting ahead of trends. Universities with robust online options were much better prepared for COVID-19 response than those that held firm to place-based learning only. Building the acumen and comfort with new delivery modules requires time and expertise to complement and support faculty. Collaboration with learning experts now will better prepare higher education professionals to deliver quality instruction, no matter what the future holds. The universities that will be best positioned to succeed long-term will embrace high-impact course designs, including online and blended pedagogy as a core component of their product plan and develop strategies with the faculty community to evolve to best meet their missions. Last but not least, we need to create a positive student experience in our online environments. Colleges and universities are responding to the demand by expanding their portfolio of online offerings, even transitioning courses that were once only available on campus. But great online education entails much more than virtual lectures and occasional email communications. True online learning is not simply an attempt to duplicate the classroom experience by extending the reach of the instructor through technologies such as Zoom. Effective online learning is intentionally designed to take full advantage of the power and possibility of online tools and technologies to support engaging, interactive, and effective learning experiences for students. It's also essential to remember there are other elements that contribute to a positive student experience. Today's learners also expect distance programs to offer the same access to resources and sense of community they encounter in an on-campus environment. To cultivate a positive online student experience, it's essential to have the following elements in place. Institutions don't shoulder all the responsibility for ensuring learners get everything they can out of college. Online students need to take ownership of their experiences since they don't have an instructor in front of them providing that external motivation. The student still needs to show up, so to speak. There is a difference in the user perspective that has to transpire. That said, higher education institutions should do everything they can to help ensure that students have a positive experience. Ultimately, providing a high-quality education is the best way to ensure students have a positive experience at your institution. That requires a few key elements. The first is effective course design that was created specifically for the online environment. Courses should be intentionally designed to promote deep student engagement and leverage media elements, such as video, animation, and interactive features. Even the most thoughtfully designed course can't succeed on its own. The faculty member's ability is just as important. Instructors need to be comfortable teaching in an online environment and willing to make a concerted effort to show that they're present. Faculty should be trained in best practices for online pedagogy and have deep interactions with individual students and the class as a whole. Research confirms that regular communication from instructors contributes to positive student experiences. Colleges and universities also need to ensure they have the appropriate technology infrastructure it takes to support these online courses. That ecosystem should include a student information system, learning management system, web conferencing system, and video streaming system. While these tools are really essential, they also take some getting used to, which is why another core classroom component is student access to 24-hour technical support. Nearly every student faces at least one class that causes them some trouble, which is why academic assistance is so critical to both residential and online students. And a remote environment is simply to host webinar workshop for specific subjects or broader learning strategies. Schools can seek input from students, or they can poll staff to find out which topics or skills students struggle with the most. For students in need of a more focused, personalized approach, virtual tutoring sessions can be a huge help. Some career service departments allow students to register for dedicated 30 to 60-minute blocks with a staff or peer tutor. It's also important to consider that for some students, the adjustment to online education itself presents some challenges. Everything from attending lectures to engaging in discussions is different when it takes place virtually. Schools should anticipate this and be proactive by requiring students to attend an orientation, specifically for online learners. It can help set expectations that students will need to be open to new learning techniques and take responsibility for remaining engaged. An online learner must be aware of their virtual environment and how it differs from face-to-face. And don't forget about the importance of academic advising. Making those sessions available to students in a virtual setting ensures that every learner is able to plan their coursework in a way that keeps them on track to graduate. Believe it or not, career services may be even more important for students in an online environment. One recent survey reports that 93% of distance learners choose to enroll specifically to fulfill career aspirations. With that in mind, institutions should really think about bringing career development opportunities to online learners. At a bare minimum, that should include offering a portal to connect students to job and internship opportunities. But being able to identify openings won't matter much if students don't have the tools they need to secure those positions. Colleges and universities can offer a lot of services geared toward helping students secure employment, both during and after school, such as resume workshops and mock interviews. Some schools even leverage practice interview software. These tools allow students to record themselves during a practice session, then review the video to identify ways to improve. Students often find mentor programs invaluable for making professional connections and developing in their careers. And those relationships translate beautifully to the online environment. Schools can facilitate mentor-mentee interactions through a platform that incorporates video conferencing and other communication tools. Even gatherings that are traditionally in-person events can work in a virtual environment. Consider hosting remote career fairs and employer webinars to help students connect with specific organizations. Students need adequate health resources, regardless of how they attend class. Mental health experts point out online learners are just as vulnerable to mental illness and emotional stress as students attempting and attending physical classes. This means it's essential for schools to offer virtual versions of the corresponding support services, including counseling, crisis interventions, mental health education, and referral to disability services. Also, keep in mind that students will likely need routine medical care. Lack of physical presence on campus doesn't have to be an obstacle either. With the rise of telehealth services, it's easier than ever to connect patients with providers who can conduct examinations, diagnose conditions, write prescriptions, and more. It's also wise to remember that students value physical fitness, particularly Generation Z. While physical health resources have traditionally been relegated to on-site fitness facility access, schools with a large online student body have found ways to encourage exercise. Some examples include health competitions, virtual intramural sports, and on-demand fitness class streaming. While it's easy to forget about the typical socializing activities and events that occur on a physical campus, students value those elements as much as anything during their college experience. The good news for schools is that students often take initiative to ensure they remain connected to their classmates and the larger community. They're unafraid to set up online get-togethers like meetings for virtual student clubs and organizations, which allow students with similar personal and professional interests to connect with one another regardless of geographic location. That said, institutions can do a lot to help students feel more connected to the college community. Virtual tours of the entire campus and also more specific destinations have become increasingly popular. Those videos are particularly compelling for incoming freshmen and transfer students, but they can also help reinforce what campus life is like for distance learners who will spend little, if any, time on campus. And consider how virtual events can help distance learners feel more connected with their peers and the overall institution. With the help of technology, everything from commencement ceremonies to homecoming festivities can be celebrated from a distance. The elements that contribute to a positive student experience aren't drastically different for online versus on-campus environments. In most cases, you just need to think about how you can adjust your existing instruction methods, resources, and campus activities to work in a virtual setting. As your institution continues to expand and improve its online program offerings, it's likely that your faculty members will face a few challenges. But minor hiccups don't have to cause major disruptions. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your experience, facts, and giving an insight on measures or techniques to be adopted by educational institutions and mentors in the current scenario, ma'am. May I now request Nadoja Udaip Krishna, Honorary General Secretary, Sheshadapuram Education Trust, to render the presidential remarks.
Principal of Sheshadapuram Institute of Commerce and Management, Professor Vidya Shivannavar, Chief Guest and Chief Research Scientist of the Indian Institute of Science and Yoga Expert, Dr. S.N. Omkarji, Keynote Address Speaker, Professor Christine Halford, Vice President of Marketing for Donor Search, Kansas City, Missouri, United States, Associate Professor Sharda S., Assistant Professor Pujata B.V., distinguished members of the faculty and distinguished participants. I see already there are about 300 people on board, and this multidisciplinary national conference has been organized by the college to, earlier they were focusing only on commerce and management, but now this multidisciplinary conference is extended to English, Sanskrit, Kannada, Hindi, physical education, sports, library and information sciences also. I am told that today about 40 papers are being presented, and tomorrow about 36 papers in all are going to be presented at this national conference. Friends, I am very happy that the Sheshadapuram Educational Trust, which is now in its 91st year of service in the cause of education, is one of the oldest and largest groups of educational institutions in Karnataka, this part of India, in southern India. And the main objective of Sheshadapuram Educational Trust has been to create socially productive citizens. And not only that, to provide quality education at an affordable price. So these are our objectives, and I'm very happy to tell you the group has nearly 23,000 students. And among the 34 institutions we run, 9 undergraduate colleges are there, of which this Sheshadapuram Institute of Commerce and Management is a prominent college. And I was told that the Erudite has been organized from 2018, and then this now it has become a multidisciplinary conference. I must congratulate the principal, because today is the world where multidisciplinary world, so where what we call as variety is the spice of life. So we need to be exposed to all sorts of knowledge, as you know, knowledge and disciplines right at the undergraduate level. And the mindset of the present times should be that we should be able to convert threats into opportunities. Like Professor Christine said, see, taking the example of the COVID-19 pandemic, so how we were able to convert threats into opportunities across the globe. And she elaborately spoke to us in her keynote address about the COVID-19 situation that led us to uncertainty in every sphere, including higher education, and how online or hybrid learning and offline learning differ, and then the challenges that we have to face, and the use of, she also highlighted on various aspects like equity, technology, student learning effectiveness, productivity, etc. Even things like skill gaps, university collaboration with employers, and the like. And she also took us through the content delivery. See, lecture method alone does not work, and then how effective is the case study method, and how application activity, blended into online teaching helps, and all that. And most important thing is she highlighted as to how to inspire students inside and outside classroom. See, that's the concern of every faculty. And she also told that colleges and universities should help online students and graduates to get employment, because this is the toughest time perhaps in the recent times that we have seen, and times run out, and we have to do something to our students. So one great lesson that the COVID-19 has given us is learning to work in a virtual environment. See, this is something, a new value we have all gathered across the globe, and I think that will keep us all in good stead, because the agility to move from one mode of learning to another in such a short span of time is itself a great achievement. And Professor Omkar Narsipura, whom I know very well, is also a very well-known person in the field of yoga. He has made a place for himself in our state. And he also, in his inaugural address, said that the world is our workplace and opportunities are immense. And the lessons that we have to take from COVID-19 is how to channelize youthful energy to enhance our Atmanirbhar Bharat. You all know that the Prime Minister has given a call for self-reliant India, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we need leadership in every field. You should, and he said that you should be the best in whatever you do. Excellence is the key. Dedication and hard work will lead us to our goals. And in fact, he said regimentalization in our daily routine will make a very big difference in this regard. And not only that, practice makes us perfect. And therefore, practice with all dedication, without any expectation, giving our best to practice will ultimately lead us to perfection. And he said, no, you should be unfettered by setbacks. You should develop opportunity sensing mind. He took the example of Sir M. Visvesvaraya. Sir M. Visvesvaraya always used to say, always think in terms of the nation, always think and act institutionally. These are the two great ideas that Sir M. V. gave us, and he lived those ideas, and he has shown to us that thinking always in terms of the nation will always help you grow bigger and greater. And he also, Professor Omkar, told us that we should all have a mission in life, and ethical foundation is a must. And we should always keep our eyes and ears wide open to get exposure in various fields. And he also cautioned us about technology. He said technology must be used with responsibility. This is most important. And I'm very happy that this multidisciplinary conference, which is going to be held through today and tomorrow, will expose the participants to various aspects of the present situation in various faculties: commerce, English, Sanskrit, Kannada, Hindi, physical education and sports, library and information science. I think it will be a good takeaway to all the participants because the experts are going to present their papers, and a lot of ideas will be shared through the online platform. And I once again wish the Sheshadrapuram Institute of Commerce and Management all the best for having organized such a nice conference. I congratulate the principal and staff for their initiative. Once again, I thank Professor Omkar Narsipuraji and also Professor Christine Halford for their time and then their concern and their contribution to this conference. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you for such a motivational remark. Let me give the overview of the conference schedule. Day 1 on 24th, that is today, we have Commerce Track 1, Kannada, English, Hindi, and Sanskrit. Day 2 on 25th, that is tomorrow, we have Commerce Track 2, Library Science and Physical Education. For Track 2 or Day 2, please keep yourself updated for tomorrow's schedule on WhatsApp and email. All the best to all the presenters. Now, I request Assistant Professor Pujeta BV from Department of Commerce and Management to propose vote of thanks.
As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. But with this note, I, Assistant Professor Pujita BV, would like to take the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. I would like to express my gratitude to today's chief guest, Dr. S.N. Omkar, for gracing this occasion. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Professor Christine Halford for accepting our invitation and being with us on this occasion. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our Honorary General Secretary, Sheshadapuram Educational Trust, Nadoja Dr. Udaip Krishna, for presiding over the inaugural program of the conference. Thank you, sir. I express my heartfelt thanks to Shri T.S. Henjarappa, Vice President, SET, for his presence. Thank you, sir. We would like to thank Shri W.G. Ramakrishna, Chairman, Governing Council in absence, for his constant support. Thank you, sir. A heartfelt thanks towards all the resource persons from various departments who would be guiding our paper presenters of this conference. Thank you all for your presence. I extend my gratitude to all the office bearers of the Sheshadapuram Educational Trust. Thank you all. A heartfelt thanks to the trustees of Sheshadapuram Educational Trust who have joined us on this inauguration program. Thank you all. I extend my gratitude to all the heads of the institutions from various colleges of Sheshadapuram Educational Trust. Thank you all. I would like to extend my thanks to our beloved principal, Professor Vidya Shivananava, for being instrumental in organizing this national conference. Thank you, ma'am. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing secretary and conveners of the conference, Erudite 2021. Thank you all. I extend my gratitude to all the participants, students, research scholars who have joined us today for this inaugural program. Thank you all. I would like to extend my thanks to all the teaching and non-teaching staff, technical team, and all my students who are present for this occasion. Let's hope the day ahead would be fruitful to all of us. Thank you, one and all. There is one announcement. All the paper presenters are requested to join the link by 10:30. Sharp 10:30, you can join the link. The link will be sent by the department heads. Thank you.